Thanks, Basil. I just want to give you a bit of an insight into the Saturday afternoon team. We're a bunch of unique individuals.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Unique Individual Podcast. We are back once again. Good to have all the lads join me. How are we going, guys?
Well, I've got a big thing of milk that's standing right in front of me, looking me right in the eye, so that can only mean trouble. So, yeah, bit nervous about that, but apart from that, I am feeling good, feeling alive and ready to go.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite rejuvenated myself and have quite the large beveragino as well. Looking forward to be consumed. The old Northern, ice cold, super crisp.
Yeah, no, good to be
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Great to be here and looking forward to another great episode.
Can't wait, boys, for this one. It's going to be a great one. But we'll get into it straight away. Let's get the punishments off the top. So, for context, if anyone forgot, Mansell unfortunately got his certainty tip wrong, tipping the Golden State Warriors to beat the Sacramento Kings in Game 6, was it?
Yeah.
And Sacramento won that game. But then, obviously, Golden State went on to win the series. So, for Jackson's punishment, he has to drink 2 litres of full cream milk. Don't know how that's going to go down. And for Blair, tipped Sydney to beat GWS.
Toby Green.
And Toby Green with an amazing goal in the dying moments. And GWS get over Swans by 1 point.
Sydney, you're weak as piss.
And you have to drink one of your all-time favourite drinks, a Great Northern. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I've consumed one in my career and half one, which didn't end so well. So look, it's going to be a good challenge. Looking forward to it. Normally a vodka raspberry operator, but
You're not a beer fan, aren't you?
nah, not a beer fan. It's an acquired taste, so I've heard from many sources, and I haven't quite acquired it yet. So
Right. And we got the bin next to you just in case.
Yeah, well,
worst comes to worst.
yeah, it might be coming out a bit of a thick stream than there. So I've got
Well, it is a removable lid.
I've got the removable lid.
It's extremely graphic.
Ready to screw, ready to go. Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've spewed up beer in a bin. Hugo can probably second that.
Yeah, I can vouch it.
Yeah, I've seen it too. It's not pretty.
Yeah. Anyway, so it should be good.
Well, do you want to get onto it now?
I mean, I was hoping Mansell's milk would go first. But,
Alright, well, let's get Mansell.
I'd rather a bit of milk first, just so I can warm into it.
Okay, well, we'll get Mansell to drink the milk.
I've got the chaser as well.
The challenge is basically he has to drink this 2 litre of milk here.
Have it as a bib.
By the end of the episode.
I need a bit, don't I?
By the end of the episode, but we want to get at least a nice chug out of it first.
He's got to have a fair chug. Fair
So,
crack. Come on.
We got to get
And we'll be the judge if it's not good enough.
Yeah, we got to get on camera.
And then
I'd be careful
if it's
what I
not good
say.
enough, we'll buy another one. We go again.
So you obviously had Chili's last week, and
So do
I
I.
guess he was probably dying for a good, 2 litres of milk. So I guess here it is.
Here it is. It's
A week,
just
a
bit
week,
late.
a week later.
Nothing should spill. It should all go in your belly.
He's got on the one knee and he's going hard.
He's going the whole wraparound.
He's sucking it in. He's sucking.
He's going the wraparound version.
He's going the full mouth. Where's the
Oh,
milk?
look at his tensing up.
Where's the milk going?
Look at him go. Where is it going? Into the...
Nothing's going down in the
Oh!
bottle. Nothing's
That
going
was
down in
nothing.
the bottle.
You got to get more than that.
More than that.
That was nothing.
Nothing's
He's recouping. Here he goes again.
Here we go.
The bottle didn't even go down. He's going the full
Oh,
wraparound.
some of it.
Because
And he goes here again.
He's so
It's on. It's on here at the G.
He's so nervous about spilling it. He's going the full wraparound with the lip.
He's going red, as you can see. The nose is... he's in trouble here. He's in real
Oh,
trouble.
no.
A bit more than that, Mansell. We need a bit more.
He's on his last legs here.
He's got a brain freeze and saying, Chili, you beaut.
I've gone from one extreme to the other.
He's burning up last week and he's freezing up today. Oh, the big... and it goes up. Bottoms up.
He goes hard on it.
That was like the snorkel. He's just going,
Oh.
tipped it backwards. Oh, nothing else got down there.
He was pleading under his breath there. Come on.
Oh, we'll let him go. But
He's in all sorts.
he had a fair bit.
He's
And
got
the
a
rest
struggle.
will be consumed.
He's had about a third of it. How was that, Mansell? Looked like a bit of a struggle.
Living the dream. I don't think I've had ice cream that's that cold yet. So, yeah, so it's something. But stay tuned.
Hugo is dying of laughter. He cannot.
thing I've ever seen. He's got down on his knees and he starts sucking the bottle.
It was like back on the farm, me and Blair feeding the pet lambs. He get nervous, he went the full wrap around, and he just started. He's sucking up. You like your milk, don't you, man?
Oh, strong bones.
Jason Gilby in the making. Yeah. That's why I've got the big muscles.
Bit of calcium there, and I mean, it's a smart tactic. I mean, he didn't want to spill any in the studio, and the full wraparound kind of says that you can't spill any, doesn't it? Sorry, boys. Just need. Anyway, so the show must go on, boys.
Nah, he won't break bones.
Well, you got to go now, Blair.
Yeah, well, you boys are just recuperating.
Oh, that was fun.
We got to get this. But I reckon this will be more of a struggle.
Could be, but if you get in the mindset, you can do it.
He just had a smell. So Blair's about to drink the beer. He absolutely hates it. For everyone out there, he's having he's got a Coke just in case.
We like to drink with Birdsy, because Birdsy is our mate.
Don't sing that. Sit and suck on your milk, mate.
And when we drink with Birdsy, it throws it.
He started okay. He's going hard.
Going real hard. Keep going.
Good effort. He's got to keep going. Oh.
Well, he's had half of it.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's okay.
It's frothing up like there's no tomorrow.
Just like he is at the mouth.
Oh, he needs to take a second. I thought he had it there. It was like like when the man eats a palmer, you think he's got it covered, and then he's falls short, doesn't he, mate?
Should have seen a bit of the tornado action going.
Doesn't look
Oh
good.
no, it doesn't.
Comments, thoughts, Blair? Yeah. Oh no. He's alright.
Go again.
No, I'll be honest, I feel a bit crazy.
Finish off strong,
Finish
though.
off. You got half of it. Half to go.
Yeah, just. If I have the other half, I'm probably going to see you, I'm just saying.
It was a solid effort.
And
You
you can't
have to go there. No, you'll be alright. You'll keep it down. Come on. I'm willing him on.
Gosh. It's
Oh,
crazy.
I know.
It's crazy how episodes start like this now. We just get into the punishments and put us through hell.
Oh, you hear the
Oh,
scream. It's starting to slow down, but he's close.
Go!
He's close.
Yes!
He's done it.
He's done it.
Let it sit.
Oh, nice.
That's just. I wasn't expecting such a strong effort. I thought he'd get a quarter down and be like, nah.
That's strong. That's very strong.
Kids, do not try this at home. We should have said that earlier, but
We
do
should
not try this
actually,
at home.
Yeah, drink responsibly. Know your portions.
Know your limit.
He's not good.
Well, we'll let him recover, but
Let him sit on that. I don't know if the Coke will help, but
who knows? We'll see. But well done, boys, for getting your punishments. Off the chest. And yeah, good stuff. We'll get into the episode then.
At least one of us had a crack.
Is that right?
That's tough.
I'll crack that over.
it's probably a fair call. It's probably a fair call.
He's going to class him.
Move on.
We'll move on to I guess what's been happening with us lately, boys. We'll start with Jackson this time. Jackson, there's been a bit of a feud going on at university between you and a certain someone, and also you've also been having umpiring. Give us an update on how it's been going.
So what would you prefer me to start off with the umpiring or the...
I guess umpiring, yeah.
Alright, so, umpiring, I had a game out at Williamstown on Sunday. I thought I had a pretty decent performance. All but one thing I think was the blemish on the day. So it's about, get there nice and early, probably about an hour and a half before the game starts, everything like that. And we're like, yeah, all good. Sunny days, nice day actually. The wind's not actually blowing as much as you'd expect out at Williamstown, but thinking, okay, beautiful conditions, everything like that. I'm about 10 minutes to go into the game, and I'm like, I usually get ready a bit late. It's just a superstition that I sort of have, right? Like about 10 minutes before. Looking through my bag, I've got my top, put my top on, got my boots, so I've got to put my boots on. I'm looking through, I'm like, where's my pants?
Oh.
I'm like, where's my pants? I'm like, oh no, you've got to be kidding me. I've left my pants at home.
Left his pants.
So, luckily,
alright. Pants?
Yeah. Luckily, the thing was, although they were tracksuit pants that I did have to wear out there, they were at least a bit similar to the look of, the grey pants we've got, black tracksuit pants. Only thing is the cuff at the ankles. But yeah, outside of that, I'm probably going to get reprimanded for it. knowing knowing how it was basically one of the other umpires was there and managed to get some footage, some evidence that I was in these in the trackies. So yeah, and I've been told I'm going to pay big bucks. So
Fine system.
yeah, pretty
right.
much. And I mean, there was another thing that will also be added to the fine system, which we'll touch on a little bit later, in form of something that's happened on this podcast.
Right, yeah.
But Connor, go.
I've got something to say, Mansell. Like when you umpire, whether it's field umpire, boundary, goal umpire, and it's a high intensity game, and you're copping a bit from the crowd, you can feel a bit naked out there of sorts. But I never thought you'd be quite literally be naked out there, mate. So.
I did.
I don't know what to say.
Who did you take me for?
Especially with kids around too, it's a frightening scene, and you won't be near at school or anywhere else anytime soon, mate. So I think you're gonna. So not only are you going to get fined for a few separate incidents, you're going to get fined and put on the registry.
Turn it up.
That is so bad for you, Connor.
You say you didn't mean to forget them, but I'd like to advise it. You probably did.
Wait, I had pants on for crying out loud. It's not like I did literally go out naked.
You just wore the wrong
In the change room, you're probably flinging it around.
Oh, what?
I rocked up to the ground in
This is
the
gonna
same
be cut
tracksuit
out.
pants. I did not take any pants off whatsoever.
No, we keep
have to
it.
be
This
cut out.
is an R18. First
Yeah.
episode.
No, but they didn't know what I was quite aware of.
Jesus. Let's move on to the feud that's been happening with Jackson and a certain individual at university. Jackson.
I've got a bone to pick with a certain individual at university. I like to think I'm a man that just goes about my business, nonchalantly, as you should say. I'm sure you boys can agree with me. I'm a bit of a fly in, fly out type of guy, right? Like, just gets his business done, goes straight out of it. Would you agree?
Oh, and a bit of me time.
You're not having my point here. I'm just trying to set the scene. Right?
Yeah, you're a fly-in guy, gets it done and leaves.
Yeah. Thank you. So bit of a smooth operator, some might say.
Oh, that wasn't needed.
That's fine.
Shoot yourself in
But this man's another aspiring journo, like the rest of us here. And I'm talking about a man that has sort of been mentioned before, but not in much detail. And I'm talking about J-Mac. We've known each other since the start of last year. Worked together as colleagues and even bounced ideas off each other. But I feel like I've been stabbed in the back. It's like one of those big machete knives, just whack right into the back. That type of stuff there. Like it's just, it's stuff that you wouldn't think is imaginable. But yeah, to explain in your terms, J-Mac, I feel the same way you felt when Luke Travers left the Perth Wildcats and joined Melbourne United over the off-season. That's probably the best way to explain it to you.
Devastated.
But yeah, I arrived at uni with the spring in my step, right? Obviously, we had basketball on Sunday night. Come to uni Monday morning, big win, which we'll get into. Big win. I, played my first game ever, scored my first points ever, with a shot from downtown, and
We'll get into that later.
Getting into that later. But J-Mac managed to, he had some words instead of encouraging me and everything like that. Congratulating me on the efforts. He decided to mock me and disrespect
Your jump shot.
my jump shot. And, I don't know how things work for you as a journo in terms of the way that you do things, but, starting beef is not the way to go about it. I suppose you've had experience of that when you had that interview with the Perth Wildcats coach and
Scott Morrison.
Yeah, and and you asked a certain question about John Brown III and almost ended your career. So
He's done his research.
So,
He
yeah.
knows every moment of what happened.
I mean, things we do, the way we do things in Melbourne, we don't try and start beef with each other. But you do realise you have started a war, and there is no way of turning back from this. So in order to, I suppose, settle the score, because I know you tried chickening it out on Monday, I would like to take you on in a 3-point contest at least. You know, you said my frame was too big to play in a one-on-one match, but yeah, so
That's personal.
you know, I mean, although I might be up here, I'll come down to your level a little bit and at least go in a 3-point contest. So, Jackson McDonald, I challenge you to a 3-point contest.
Let's go.
You heard it here
I
first.
heard it here. Far out. That
got really fiery.
But fair enough, I think, because
There's a bit of feeling.
there was
in this
no
now.
need for J-Mac to put down Mansell's jump shot.
Especially after a 25
Let's-
point win.
Fair to say it's unique, but if it works,
Well,
it's
he's
beneficial for the team.
Is he not playing for the unique individuals?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's a rogue comment to make, and I want a one-on-one and 3-point contest, but we're going to get. Mansell's just drinking his milk over there, but
Sponsored by Community Co.
we're going to get
Victorian
this.
brand, so...
Wherever you are out there, clear your schedule. When we get a date for this is going down, and it's be there or be square.
And I expect an answer by next week's episode, by the way. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't have time, so I need you to be pronto.
Yeah, rightio.
Okay.
Alright, moving on now to, I guess, some of the other individuals. Let's get into Blair. Blair, what's been happening with you, mate?
Obviously, a few press conferences, and the beer. I'm able to talk now. There was a time where I thought I may spew. We've moved past those and we're in
Good.
greener pastures. So, feeling good. Got this little cheeky souvenir over here. So. But had a few press conferences. I've been soaking it up. I went to Clarko, Bevo, and Vossi. So I kicked it off at Alistair Clarkson. It was last Thursday actually, and quite a packed out crowd in the North Melbourne rooms, and so it was good, and it was pretty nerve wracking actually. Clarko. Clarko come in and I didn't ask any questions. A bit scared.
Speak, come on, we need to get ourselves on the right track.
Just quickly,
Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you touched on the Clarko presser last week.
Yeah.
In last week's episode.
Was the last? Oh yeah, I just come from that. Was that why you were laughing or?
Oh, maybe.
Okay. It wasn't, but anyway. Moving on. So Bevo was a bit scary out at Skinner Reserve. Rocked up. The boys had training first, and I sniped a few of them with my camera. Zoomed in on Bont ahead of the 200th and sniped Bailey Smith, one for the women. And that was good. Went in there, Bevo. There wasn't really many there. Didn't ask a question again. Got a bit of eye contact from Bevo a few times. Was a bit nervous with that, but that all went well. It was pretty cool because out at Skinner Reserve, it's not where the dogs normally train. So when I pulled up there, I've just pulled into the car park and literally my car's parked near, I'm driving past players and that, just walking in and that, and I was parked among all the other, God knows my car might have been next to the Bonts if that was his expensive Mercedes next to me. But it was good. Bevo was actually he's a good lad. Don't get scared of him from the Tommy Morris fiasco. He's if you don't ask. If you don't tweet out the teams early, he's happy. And he had a good chat about Bont's 200th, wrote up the article about that. And Con and myself went to the Voss press conference, Carlton, this morning, and that was also very pleasant. We thoroughly enjoyed that, and it was outside, and we got to listen, and he had a bit to say, Vossi, and it was good. So it's been a pretty cool experience to go to all three of those. I've just been, on the front foot. I've only done an article on one. But the others have just been good to experience and see. And you're seeing AFL journos and stuff there, and it's pretty cool. So I think the presses is nearly all I've been up to, really. And then obviously we'll touch on basketball soon. But it's all been smooth sailing over these ways.
Well, you're talking about sniping people with your camera. You also sniped myself on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I did. Anything for a bit of me time, Mansell. I went along to, our faithful followers have already seen it on the socials, 2 images actually. Mansell ran through his paces at training, Latrobe footy training, and
part of his punishment from last week.
And look, let's say it wasn't voluntary, but he was there in the long skins and the ultimate resi fit. But he did well. Only fumbled it a few times, shat himself a couple of times when he had a few big boys coming at him. But apart from that, he was all right. But it was good. I watched for about 40 odd minutes, and then I thought, I've seen enough here.
Well, I
and
saw
then-
you gone after about 15, but
Yeah, actually, one thing I did see, I'm walking around the oval. I've driven down with Walshy. I'm walking around the oval, and everyone's doing, a bit of warm-up stuff. Everyone's lying down in the big circle, on their back, legs in the air, doing the bicycle. I looked across at Mansell, right? God, I can't explain it. The feet were just like wobbling a bit. There was no bicycle action there. He was struggling to balance on the back, and his legs were just waving around.
I don't ride bikes. So
And full on, this was what it was like. I'll give you a little. He's like, everyone else is like this, and he's like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I'm just still on training wheels. So
but it was incredibly amusing. And that was my first impression of Mansell training. I thought, geez, like that's not quite. I think Walshy might have mentioned it to me. Shout out to Walshy. So I'm not sure if that's quite a bicycle action for Mansell. And I was like, it's not really, is it? And then but you went all right, mate. So credit where credit's due, and get on that milk, mate.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of morphing into a footy player, and I'm resembling into Jason Gilby by the looks of it. So
He's not a very good footy player. Hasn't got a game yet.
maybe my bones might be a bit stronger. And
Playing for the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, moving on, Connor, mate, yourself. Workers, we barely have to put it down at the moment because it's just a weekly ritual for you, isn't it, mate? You just go there and do your prayers, but tell us about your footy on the weekend and Carlton Presser this morning.
So we won't go into workers, or?
I mean,
Just
if
the
you really
usual.
want to, but
Yeah, no,
unless it's you
there's-
ripping a shirt off, we don't really hear it.
Yeah, alright, there's not much to say. That was actually the first time I've been in quite a while. Mansell's back on it again, but that was the first time I've been in quite a while, but normally I'm quite a regular, but that was a pretty cruisy night. It didn't get too wild. I think I've matured a bit since last year and even 3 or 4 weeks ago, but
I doubt that.
yeah, but mate, what did you want to go to? The press conference?
Well, footy, you got pumped. There's no easy way to put it. 98 points, I think it was.
It's just a beautiful introduction, isn't it? Yeah, we did get pumped. I'm not afraid to say it. Obviously, we had a lot out. Hugo was a big out. We found out Thursday night the man wasn't going to get up for reasons that he can disclose, but it was a big.
you make it sound so bad.
But
I've got a case or something.
no. But look, he was a big out. I think we had 7 or 8 changes from the week before. Out at Deakin Uni, actually quite a nice ground. Most away grounds we're playing are quite small, as in, short and not pretty narrow as well. Not much width to the ground compared to Latrobe, and the surface isn't great, pretty rough. But this ground was good, and reasonable size, I guess. And we just didn't really start well. They come out to play, and we kind of sort of held with him a bit, kept it at probably 5 goals until half time, I reckon, and then they 3/4 time they probably got out to, I don't actually know what it was. It was probably 50 points, and in the last quarter they kicked 8 goals, 5 I think, to probably maybe 1 goal. So it wasn't good, but we could have got a lot better result, if we had everyone in, but they were probably missing a few as well. So I'm sure they'd say that, but disappointing all in all, and really the only bad game we've played so far. But we'll be looking to bounce back this week at Latrobe, and see how we go.
Yeah, and you mentioned we, Connor, and it really is we now, because I forgot to mention one of the things in the recent week. I will be the team manager for Connor and Hugo in the twos, so the old Magoos, the Rezzies. I'll be running around with my little clipboard and
$50 a game.
yeah, $50 a game.
Take that.
We didn't really want to. I do it for the love of the game, not the cash, but and I'll still be able to take a few of my photos on the weekly basis. So now I'm looking forward to managing Connor and Hugo, and don't know how often we'll see Hugo. He might be up in the ones, but he's back now, back from COVID and COVID life. We've all been there, haven't we? And it's a grim reality.
How was the week, Hugo, considering you were just locked up in your room for for 7 days?
It was pretty boring. I think most people have experienced the old COVID life, but it wasn't too fun. I was tested positive initially on the Thursday night, so Friday I was pretty annoyed I wasn't going to be able to go to the Saints game. Then the Saints game happened, and I was pretty happy I wasn't allowed to go. I was pretty happy I wasn't allowed to go in the end because that was dreadful on Friday night. But and it was just really that sucked the soul out of me. I'm not going to lie. On the Friday night, I was like, oh no, this is not great. So I couldn't even watch any footy because I was just too sad that the Saints lost.
Nothing's worse than seeing your team lose like on a Thursday night or Friday night. It just wrecks the rest of the weekend.
Yeah,
Connor
absolutely.
and I
does.
getting used to that.
I can attest to that this year.
Yeah, it wrecks your week. It's not even a week, and the vibe goes down. And then I was just watching a lot of crap on YouTube really and Netflix. No, not too much to report. I was getting updates constantly from Blair on the Saturday, and he kept on getting more and more bleak. The women's updates were positive. They thumped their opposition, and then the Rezzies pretty bleak. The one's real bleak.
Yeah.
One of a good week for Latrobe men's footy,
Yeah.
but that's alright.
No, you have those weeks though, don't you?
You do.
Yeah, it's character building, puts hands on the chest type of stuff and
Reset.
gets you going.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, reset. We'll get a better
On-
result this week.
On the week, Netflix, you said, is there any binge-worthy shows out there that you want to recommend to the viewers?
Oh, nah, not
Or
really.
just St
Just-
Kilda reruns? And
Oh, a
St.
few
Kilda
reruns did get to go
A
actually.
few replays?
Yeah, 09, round 14, St Kilda versus Geelong,
Yeah.
great game.
It is good. It is a good game.
Yeah, I watched round 23, 2005, Stephen Milne, 14 disposals, 11 kicks, 11 goals.
You're living in the past. You're living in the past, mate.
Oh mate, that was electric that night.
Sometimes you have to.
For Hugo's sake, yeah, you do.
Well, the Burns boys will learn quickly. I reckon you got to live in the past these days, but the way the Tigers are going, absolute
Yeah.
rubbish. But no,
That's fair. It's fair call.
yeah, I just watch Friends really, just a lot of reruns.
Yeah, no, lovely.
The go to the shows. There we go.
I guess, obviously you boys had footy. Owen footy, and you went to Geelong Essendon game as well, mate. Tell us about your sort of week.
Yeah, we had footy. Fortunately, didn't play due to my wrist injury, but was running for the team. So that was alright.
Played a role.
Played a role. Yeah, I think runner's better than Waterboy. Isn't you reckon, Connor?
Yeah, probably.
You direct traffic a bit.
Yeah, you can be a bit more involved and obviously give out messages that get relayed from the coach.
But we had a really good win. Won by 7 points against Williamstown. I think it was 51 to 44. The scores.
That would be 7 points.
That would be 7 points. Yeah, I'm not great with math. But yeah, close game. It was pretty wet. It was an early game. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, so the morning dew was still on the ground. But yeah, good game. And
No.
what are you laughing at, Connor?
I don't know. They just smiled at me.
They're just sort of fucking
Mess was
down.
like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
No. I think it was just the morning dew or something. Got with. Yeah,
Just kicking off the dew.
It was
But
a wet ground. And then obviously the Geelong Essendon game went to. Pretty wholesome moment actually. Went with my grandpa. I think it's the first time I've ever gone to the footy, just him and I. Took him into the MCC, and he was the one to really set up my whole MCC when I was born and everything. So it was good to take him, around the area and show him what the privilege I get to sit in the area. Great game, high scoring contest, and good to see Geelong win and the Essendon fans leave at 3/4 time.
Tomahawk to the game.
Oh, that was exceptional.
Fair game. 4 in the first, I believe.
4 on the first quarter. I thought, mate, he's going to be getting at least 10.
I was like, crack 10, mate. But
Yeah.
no, it's a fair
Anyway,
day
it was a great game. Geelong are well and truly back. But let's get into basketball before we get into the sport talk. So we got our first win on the weekend against Ball City Breakers. Is that
Brick City Ballers.
Brick City
Yeah.
Ballers?
Close.
Close. Got my words a bit fumbled there, but
we're chucking up a few bricks. That's why they named that, I guess.
right. But I think we won by a comfortable
Good 25,
25 30
yeah.
points. As we said before, Mansell had a beautiful 3. Blair hit a few threes himself, which is really good to see. Connor was a bit bruised from the day before. He got a bit frustrated during the game. I think there was one point where there was an open layup and he completely missed it. And running back into defence, he just, cussing to himself, walking back, shaking his head, thinking, why am I playing this game? But overall, it's a good game for Connor. And then obviously our big man Hugo couldn't play because he's in COVID. Mason though played pretty well. I think 18 points, which was quite impressive.
Fast break specialist.
Yeah. Then we had 2 fill-ins, which did their role.
Yeah, they were immense.
Yeah, on Connor, I've played basketball and sport with this kid for a long time, and I know he gets in his own head, and like we got to mention before that missed open layup, it was an incredible, he cut a pass off, got the steal, ran down the court.
Yeah, very good.
And then he's missed the finish. He's shaking his head right now. He's his harshest critic, and he says to me, and then I've missed the follow up, and then eventually got it after we made a bit of a meal of that between us, and then. He's walking back and he's like, sub me off. I won't even play this game. And he's saying all sorts of stuff like that. The self-confidence was low. I think he put up a shot and got fouled from beyond the arc. Took it to the line, hit his 3 shots. But then he's still like, why do I even play? He's like, I'm not even...
He's questioning.
I'm just so... He's like, I'm so shit to me. I'm like, Connor, come on, mate. You've generated all our scores. And he's an assistant king.
No, I was frustrated. I don't know what happened there. I got the steps wrong, and I took like a big step at the end, and I was just off balance. I should have just taken it so easy because they weren't going to. They probably gave up. They weren't even going to catch. And I didn't know where they were, but I don't know. It was frustrating, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't think I did overly well. I don't mean to disrespect them at all as an opposition.
No,
I just felt, they were young. A couple of them talented, but they were putting up shots everywhere. But it was just, I don't know. It was just hard to. As soon as I got flat, it's just hard to say I got concentrated. I just didn't even wasn't ever really concentrated. A few times I just did but I did some good passes, but a few times I did some bad passes, and they were easy to pull off. I could have just nearly taken someone's head off and just thrown it wide out. But I don't know. I just didn't really want to.
No, don't be too harsh, Connor.
No.
You played well.
I mean,
we all
Shoot,
played well.
but I don't know.
All in all, really good win. And
Body was aching for sure.
yeah, it's good to get. Yeah, well, we didn't mention before you did get given best on for footy from the opposition team and got the 6-pack for that. So obviously you played a role on the Saturday. But no, on basketball, all in all, it's good to get a win on the board. And look, I can't wait to get Owen out there and Hugo will be back from COVID and we can get our core group together and play a few games. Obviously, with our win, Div 3, we've went up a division, which for the time being we're still at grading games, but quietly hope we get pumped.
It's going to be a tough game this week, that's for sure.
The other side had some big boys.
Yeah, we saw the team that we're going to be playing this week, and big boys, that's for sure.
And we've been given court 2 as well. So
I think it's got a grandstand for those viewers that want to come and watch.
Well, court 1 has the grandstand, but if you sit high enough in the grandstand, you can see us over the far side. So
Right, we've been promoted.
Jeez, it's been a long time since Blair and I played on court 1 with a grandstand. Back in the juniors, we always court 4.
Well, we had Walshy come to see the game last week, so
come for a drive with us and have a look.
thanks to Walshy for coming down.
Support,
It's welcome to anyone who would like to watch us.
Yeah, I mean, get along. If you want to see
all for laughs.
If you want to see some fireworks, Mansell's out there. He's shooting low trajectory threes, swishing, making the best sound you've ever
behind the back passes as well.
Get J-Mac down.
And J-Mac, mate.
Come down and watch us.
I know there's a bit of feeling in between you and Mansell, 1v1 stuff. Let me just say, it's bigger than that. Our team wants to take on yours, so whenever we can make that happen, we want to put you in your place.
The unique individuals versus the Blackburn Vikings over 35. So here we go.
Right, J-Mac's not over 35.
Yeah, I was going to say there's an issue there.
There's an issue there.
But it's been good. So looking
good,
forward to
real.
Sunday, 8:50 p.m.
Yep. On court 2 at Mill Park Basketball Stadium. So
past the bedtime for some of those younger viewers.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been good, it's been real. Let's get into the sport talk, Mansell.
Well, yeah, so big week of footy. As always, we've got to start off with Friday night. I know, Hugo, you were a bit disappointed with it. That's probably why you reminisced on some old games over the weekend. But yeah, Port get it done by 7 points over the Saints. It was pretty much goal for goal after quarter time, we would say. Just about. When Port brought it back, it was just about goal for goal. I know. I maybe miscorrected that, but yeah, we had a look at that. The Saints have now lost 12 of the last 13 against Port Adelaide. That record shrinks back to 2012. I'll start off with you, Owen. I just want to get your thoughts, as I suppose Saints we're on top pretty much for most of the season at the moment, and Port have been able to get it done. Does that read anything into Port Adelaide's season?
I don't know. I feel like Port are that kind of team where you just don't know what you're going to get.
Bit of a Bulldogs.
They're a bit of
Brisbane.
Bulldogs, Brisbane, and it's such an interesting stat how Saints just can't beat Port no matter where they play them. And look, I'm not going to, he's a great player and all, but Cal Wilkie, when the scores were pretty even, I think he may be down a goal in the fourth quarter, tries to take on Charlie Dixon. Was that Cal Wilkie?
No, it's Josh Battle.
Josh Battle, okay. Sorry, Cal Wilkie.
Sorry, Cal.
Sorry, Cal, if you're listening. Josh Battle, though, it's a clumsy mistake. Dixon kicks a goal, 2-goal handy lead in the fourth quarter. I think the Saints, they just didn't gel together quite right, didn't get their game plan as what they were hoping for. It's like what Mansell said before, it's funny, Hugo tends to do this. When they lose, when Saints lose, he just goes back to the old days when they were good. Well, they are good this year, but when they were really good, and just tries to make the situation better. But I guess Hugo, how are you with the whole game, and have you recovered?
Just quickly a stat on Josh Battle.
Okay.
8 touches for the game. That was one of his. Well, he didn't actually dispose of it. So, did he?
Yeah, no, he did. He got smothered.
Got smothered. Yeah.
Oh,
So you're saying your stats in a bit of disarray?
That's one of his 8 touches. One of his
Yeah.
6 kicks. So,
Okay.
Josh had a bit of a stiff night.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit harsh on Josh. He's had a bloody good year.
Yeah, we're
so
talking
far.
about the game though, not the year.
Just saying, look. If you're gonna fire Josh Battle, I'll fire you in a minute.
It's very
Nah,
I love the tip.
Oh, look, I thought we were pretty poor on the weekend. Sorry. Oh, Jesus.
He's choking up. It's
Sorry,
much too
boys.
cold for him.
No, I thought we were really sloppy in the contest. I thought after quarter time, we just weren't clean with it. Seb Ross, Bray Crouch, they just around the ball, it was particularly bad that they just couldn't pick it up cleanly. There was a lot of fumbles, a lot of missed handballs. And Port Adelaide always had 2 blokes off the back of a stoppage, and St Kilda just didn't take a tackle. Like, there's times where you can take a tackle, not get caught for holding the ball. Like, you just gotta take tackle, reset. St Kilda just didn't reset. They were trying to fire out handballs without looking, and every time I went to Port Adelaide's 2 blokes out the back of the stoppage, and they just pop it over, a short little kick over the top of a stoppage, and then they're away. 3 or 4 one-on-ones inside 50, which I was a bit annoyed at because it's pretty obvious after the second quarter that was Port Adelaide's main plan. Horn Francis got a hold of us in the second quarter in particular. Hunter Clark's, certainly his defensive efforts on Horn Francis weren't great, but having said that, Clark's last quarter was tremendous. Nearly won it for us off his own boot. But yeah, 5-day break didn't help, but it wasn't a clean night, and it's always those bloody bastards from Port Adelaide. They China, Cairns, Melbourne, Adelaide. We can't beat them. Just bloody arseholes. There's a lot of them.
They're taking it off around the globe for you.
Actually, there was the game where you kicked about 4 goals.
Cairns.
Was that Cairns?
Cairns.
Oh,
We don't talk about
I
it.
don't know how you lost that game.
Don't-
I remember I was watching with Mansell at the bar or something. At a bar.
There's some photos circulating of me of being sent to you boys that night about me drowning my sorrows.
Yeah,
Was that the night?
That was that night.
Oh, well, it's a lot of those nights, actually.
Yeah.
Back in
Oh, hang on. Nah, it was. I was disappointed, but I think that was more of an anomaly from the Saints. So I'm not. There's not too much cause for concern yet.
Yeah,
but I'm still
You
confident.
didn't lose by
boys.
much.
Nah, we played awful after the first quarter.
You'll bounce back.
Yeah, I'm confident.
Ross and the boys will bounce back.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, 83 points now, that's the highest score that you've conceded for the season, which adds a string to your bow as well. I think you were talking about, hack kicking and that, like, towards, like, pretty late, like, in terms of just kicking it, and there being players there. Jeremy Finlayson in the last quarter had 3 set marks, probably in the last maybe 5-10 minutes of the game. What were your thoughts on him then? Was he a bit of a pain for you guys?
It was just. I think that was the lack of availability in terms of our health really caught up to us because it's all been our tools that have been injured. Cordy got subbed off after having 1 touch in 3 quarters.
He's not that good.
He
doesn't
an effort.
offer-
He
he
puts in
doesn't-
effort.
he
He
doesn't
puts in
offer-
effort, but he's just not quite there.
He doesn't offer enough.
You could probably be.
He's an effort player, and he has to be in there because we've got no one else.
You think you'd just get the ball more than once in 3 quarters if you're accidentally in the wrong spots every time?
the thing is though, he'll have one touch a game, but it's one of the greatest touches you'll see in your life. It's magnificent, but then he does nothing else for the rest of the game. So it's like, but yeah, he got subbed off. Only had Membry up forward, and Membry does a lot of his work up the ground, so we didn't have a key big guy down there to go to. But no, Finlayson had a good game, but I think when Maxi comes back next week, hopefully. So it will change.
Is that confirmed next week? He's back.
Yeah, so not this week, but next week.
Yeah, against round 9 against Adelaide. That's what's been flagged.
Is it at Marvel?
No, it's at
Are
Adelaide.
you going to go to see King back in action?
Over the border.
I might try and nick the car off mum and dad.
Just for a few hours.
A little road trip. Get us on board.
Alright, we'll have a look at Saturday's games now. And Brisbane beat Freo by 47 points. Freo have, they've lost a few games sort of, in succession. And by some healthy margins as well. GWS kicked the last 4 goals of the game to roll the Swans by a point, which is case in point for Blair down in that Great Northern. The Dogs get it done over the Hawks by 5 goals. Some big wins on Saturday night. The D's beat North by 90 points. And Carlton do a little bit better and get 108 point buffer between them and West Coast. Charlie Curnow kicked 9 goals as well. Just got to the point where they were just going for him. And yeah.
Can I just say one thing about the D's and North game? Saturday night, 7 free-to-air TV. That game's on, right? No one's going to be watching it. But what I'm more amazed is that there were only 29,000 people there.
Yeah.
Where are the D's fans? You know?
Snow.
They're probably just...
They've all gone to Mount Buller already.
To be fair though, like
29,000?
I think if you look at I'm not a betting man, but if you look at the odds, I think D's are nearly the favourite for the flag.
You'd say so, yeah.
They're in the top 2 or 3 teams, with your sort of Pies and Geelong probably not far off. So it is quite surprising. You think, as a Richmond supporter, if we were to beat a side by 90 points, bloody earth, get me there. Like
you want to see.
That's what you want to see. But that's a pretty poor turnout.
But under 30,000 on a Saturday night.
Oh, no, Saturday night, yeah.
Like, to be fair, no one wants to watch North, but like the D's fans, they missed out on seeing their team play a premiership at the G. Well, get down to your home and away games.
This isn't the first time though we've been talking about
Yeah.
Melbourne's crowds. Like they've been pretty poor historically.
Yeah.
But
Even-
29, is that the lowest it's been for a Saturday night?
Too many cheese
Alright,
platters
but-
and picnics.
But even the round 1 game against the Doggies last year, the first game after they've won a granny, they only managed 58,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're spending all their money on R.M. Williams boots.
They're all bloody snobby pricks. Josh was saying.
Here goes not happy.
No, it was one of the grimmer Saturday night, night footy, fixtures you ever see. I think I was just sitting down in the apartment. I was pretty much just staring through the screen. I wasn't even watching it at that point. It was on, but I wasn't there, physically or mentally.
You should just play some Mario Kart or something.
Oh, I did for a little bit, but then there's only so much Mario Kart you can play, and then still on in the background, getting no better for North.
Surely you chucked on a rom-com or something like that, isn't it?
I don't know why I didn't. I should have. I was nearly falling asleep. I should just went to bed and just not even started, gone before the bounce, I reckon.
Yeah.
But
It was a boring game.
And on Carlton
it's
pumping
pretty
the
bad.
West Coast, obviously the Vossi's press this morning. Saw Charlie Curnow kicking the ball out in the oval, and look, I think he just looked hungry again for it. Like the way I just had a vibe today that he's gonna have a big night against Brisbane tomorrow night. I think he's gonna back up the 9 with a good 4 or 5 and have a good game. I think he just looks in good touch.
And what did you
Confidence
see?
up.
Was Mackay kicking for goal or dribbling from the boundary line?
Kai wasn't out there, I don't
Nah,
reckon. We saw him in the rooms, but I don't think he headed out there.
Saw him in the room. Sounds pretty official, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The boys were running around, but Curnow, fair game. 9 goals, 3 I think it was, and obliterated. I think 14 marks or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a fair game, and I think that ties him. Is he tied with Jezza now?
He is 30 apiece. Yep.
Yeah. So now the question is, can 2 blokes get pushed? Which one's going to push for 100? Yeah, but Curnow, we'd never give him a sniff. But last year he won. Didn't he win the Coleman last year?
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He
Very
keeps
good
accumulating goals, and you don't really think about it, but he's always there. So
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, moving on to speaking about Jeremy Cameron, he kicked 3 as Geelong won by 28 points in a high-scoring affair against Essendon, but he had to take a bit of a back seat because Tom Hawkins had 8 majors for the day. Owen, you said you're at the game. 38-0 to start off with.
Yeah.
Absolute domination at first. Are the Cats back?
Yeah, absolutely. And that 5-goal opening term really set that barrier for the rest of the game. Because I think after the first quarter it was pretty even, goal apiece for each team. But yeah, no, it was great to see Tom Hawkins kick a bag. Jeremy Cameron still kicked 3 and, pushed up the ground, so he played a really good role. Dangerfield was really impressive, and his disposal efficiency is really impressive as well, considering how, his non-preferred foot on his left, he can kick it, beautifully, 40 metres plus. Tom Stewart, down back, without him we'd be in strife, to say the least. And it's a bit of a concern how Geelong keep conceding big scores. Teams are scoring against us. I think Essendon kicked 104 or something.
Yeah, 104.
Yeah, so, and we got Sam DeConing's now out for a short term. I don't know what he did, but some kind of little injury. So concerns down the back a little bit, but I saw an impressive stat the other day. Leading goal assists for the whole league, top 4 players are from Geelong. Brad Close is up there, Brian Myers.
You showed me that. The first one was Grind, I think.
And he hasn't kicked a goal. He's got 15 direct goal assists.
Yeah, 14 or 15 no goals, but he's effectively sorry boys, he's effectively kicked 14 goals, I guess. And like you said, Brad Close, Tom Hawkins is always up there. So it's I don't know, it says a lot about their mindset as a team, and they don't care who kicks them, as long as they kick the winning score.
Yeah, that's for sure. But no, it's good to see Geelong win, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sam Wiedemann just he got 5 as well for the Dons, and that's he's been probably a pretty good pickup for them. Kicking 5, Stringer was putting on a few highlight reels as well.
A lot of the goals were crummy though from Wiedemann. I know 5 goals.
But I think him if you look in previous seasons, I think his most he ever kicked, obviously very in and out at the Ds, but I think the most he ever kicked in a season was 18 or 19. He's got 9 so far, and obviously pretty important to them. And when Stringer plays well as well, they scored over 100. It's not a bad score to lose.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, moving on from I suppose one team that's going really well, another team that's sort of hovering, towards an unusual end for them on the ladder. The Tigers played at Marvel on Sunday afternoon, and now they've lost their last. Well, now they haven't won a game in their last 6 there. Last win was over there was round 9 2021. Blair and Connor, I know as Tigers fans, I just want to roll off a couple of things for you guys. Minus 39 for marks. Gold Coast had 135 marks for the game. You right there?
He's not happy.
Not happy.
Blair's not happy. He thinks you're yapping on, but go for it, Mansell. Let them know.
Get off your high horse.
No. Let them know how bad the Tigers are.
We haven't heard it for weeks and weeks and weeks from you boys and everyone else.
Well, I can't say anything. So
just get on with it.
Minus 18 for tackles when they had 4% more possession. I just want to get your thoughts. You're still in 16th. At what point, I suppose, do you pull the trigger?
The trigger meeting.
Trigger meeting. Do you go for a rebuild, or do you?
We're not planning on assassinating players. I mean, look, if you look at the Gold Coast game, I think we had a scoring shot more for the game. Kick 6 goals 12, you're not going to win many games of footy. 6 goals for a game. They kick 11-5 or something and take their chances and just kick a bit straighter and they beat us. That's the difference there. But I think, you look at all our games and we've been, and I know this doesn't win your games and that's why we haven't won for so long, but we've been in games and we've had games that have been close and it's been disappointing the way we've lost, and I know we've got a few cattle out, and I was speaking to someone the other day, and when you do lose a bloke, it's not really about how many players you lose, it's about where they fit into the side, and it's just, if we had a few in one section that we've just lost the spine players. We've lost Lynch, Nank. We've been missing backman all year, and it's not really look, I think going into the start of this year, I thought, look, we're pick up Toronto and Hopper. We're actually a good chance to play finals and go deep. And I think the club, by getting those guys and keeping Tarrant and guys like that on, that was the same consensus. Yeah, we're still thereabouts. But I think, you have to look at it now. And the way we're going, we're probably not going to make finals. So you just got to get a few games into young fellas like we've been sort of doing and keep doing that. But
You think finals? No.
I think there is hope, but also I think unless something changes pretty quickly, it's not, does not look likely, does it? Our only win was Adelaide, and even then they nearly got on top of us. And draw with Carlton at the start of the year is our next closest to a win. So apart from that, we've got run over the top, blown out against Sydney, where I was thinking we were a genuine chance to win. Pies we lost by 14. Dogs we lost by under a kick. We've lost a few close ones, and it looks really bad now. And I don't think there's any coming back from it.
Yeah, no. Well, you can't as a team you can't sort of give up on finals because it's still it's still quite early in the season, so they have to push ahead and see what they can do. But yeah, Blair made some valid points. We've lost a lot of close games, but it was a step back last week. It was a step back. We played a lot worse than what we'd previously played. So it was disappointing, but. Yeah, I don't know where they go from here. It's obviously a good opportunity to win this week against West Coast, but who knows? And our draw in the second half of the year it's certainly easier, but you got to find a way to win. And fortunately, we can't do that at the moment, which is disappointing. But people have said about Toronto and Hopper upset the apple cart a bit, which is absolute bullshit. They're playing pretty well. It's just
without them we'd be.
Especially Toronto, he should have he was easily the best on in that Anzac Day Eve, and he's been our best player every game, pretty much. And people have knocked him for the kicking.
He has been fulfilling his role.
People have knocked him for the kicking, but he's having a lot of clearances, getting 30 every week. Kicking a few goals, but he's getting a lot of tackles as well. So guys just need to step up to the plate, and hopefully Dylan Pressy can come back and do that as well.
Just quickly before we move on from the Tigers game, Ben King. Been sensational the last 2 weeks. 5 goals and 4 goals, 9 goals in 2 weeks. He's climbed up to, I think I saw 7th in the Coleman.
There you go.
And he had a pretty poor start, so the Suns might just start getting a few more wins than we expect with Ben King starting to get that form back.
It'd be tough without Took, but it's good to see Ben
Ben's
King
a big
getting
difference.
back in.
Didn't affect them at all. Without Took Muir, I thought Rao has had a good year.
And Anderson's, those
Rao and Anderson.
They're stepping up.
They're really stepping up, and when you lose Took Miller, it's those guys are really carrying. And you blokes like Wheats as well. He's Mr. Reliable, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, a couple of the blokes down back had career best. Will Power was
Will Power.
unbelievable, and Charlie Ballard I know the service wasn't great to Jack, but he pumped Jack one-on-one really. So I'm not saying this. I don't think Gold Coast are actually that bad a side. Their list, they've got some pretty talented players. They've got the list to be able to probably get close to finals. They just lack consistency, unfortunately.
Yeah. Before we move on, if you think Connor and I are disappointed about this one, if we lose to West Coast this weekend, we're going to be even more disappointed, and we're going to hear a lot more in the media, and we're going to cop it a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave the last one to you, Owen. PSA, public service announcement, which is the reason I'll be leaving the room. I've just finished this carton of milk, and it needs to be disposed of, so I will see you guys soon. But yeah, obviously we'll start. Pies come down from 22 on the 3rd to win by a point. You boys
Don't
discuss.
smile too much, Mansell.
You guys discuss and elaborate, and I will be back in a minute.
Oh look, I don't think we have to say much other than it's another Pies.
Close win.
I want to say miracle because they keep doing it. Really, they keep coming back from these 3/4 time. They're down 4 or 5 goals and they somehow managed to win. It's just a thing now. I mean, credit to them. They just keep pulling it off, and
it's crazy.
It's frustrating, but and now they're on top of the ladder after that win. But what can you do? It's the Pies. It's how they play.
It's crazy to see one side win that many close games and just keep getting done. I know, doing my head in.
It's beyond my head.
But you've got to lose some sooner or later, you think, and be on the wrong end of a close game every now and then. But the game plan and the style that they've got going under Craig McRae, it seems like they relish that pressure environment.
They believe in themselves.
They probably feel as confident, literally no word of a lie, they probably feel as confident going to three-quarter time compared to being up 30 or down 30.
They thrive
They
on
know
that
that
moment. Yeah.
They know they can do it, and they throw caution to the wind and come home crazy. Like, I don't think we've seen in the history of AFL a team over a couple of years win that many close games and not barely lose one. Like,
they've only lost 2 and they were in the finals.
I think I heard a stat the other day, something about they've won like 16 of the last 18 or something like. It was something like that, and I just can't believe that Essendon the other week, they just keep every week. I'm like, they're gonna get done. Against Essendon, I was like, they can't. 28 points, three-quarter time, no way, and they just come back from it. And God, it's a good time to be a Collingwood fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's full credit to the Pies, but like some teams, when you're up by 30 points, like you've got to find a way to actually chip the ball around and play tempo footy. Yeah, wait, hang on. You've got to find a way to chip the ball around, play tempo footy, and sort of not play into their hands. Like, you can still look to score, but teams clearly haven't done it right. And Adelaide, they really should have been over at half time. Probably should have been over at quarter time. They kicked that bad, and then they just kept them in it, and then they feed off that Collingwood and obviously come back more often than not.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where we shouldn't even talk about the Pies because we say the same thing every week.
Yeah, we do.
They do it every week, so let's move on. But just they've won their last 16 out of 18. Well, they lost to prelim, so they can suck on that one. But
Bang. Excuse me.
We'll get into the tips.
Yeah, let's get into the tips. Yeah, we'll start right up. Just quickly go through your tips and obviously your certainty for this round.
No descriptions needed. Just we'll fire
Yeah,
through.
Friday night, Carlton Brisbane. I'll go Carlton, a close one. Richmond will beat West Coast. I hope. Geelong will beat Adelaide at GMH. Melbourne will beat Gold Coast, even though it's in Queensland. I reckon GWS might beat the Western Bulldogs actually at Manuka. Fremantle would beat Hawthorn. Essendon, I think, will bounce back from a couple of close losses and beat Port. Collingwood to beat Sydney, and St Kilda easily over North.
And your certainty is?
I'll go Richmond.
Big call, I like it.
man.
I like it though.
There would be some serious problems if Richmond can't beat West Coast at the G.
Oh, they'll probably just come out and play well, like no one our luck this year. But I don't know, there will be some serious problems if we can't.
They're coming off a 100-point loss like that.
Anyway, here you go.
I'll go Brisbane over Carlton, Tigers over West Coast, Cats over Crows, D's over the Suns, Dogs over Giants, Freo over Hawthorn, Port over Essendon, Pies over the Swans, Saints over North, and yeah, I'll make the Saints for certainty.
I like it.
Just, yeah, I've got all the exact same tips as Hugo there. I'll have a different certainty. Look, I went away from what we beat up on West Coast every week. I went away from that last week, and I'm going to go away from it again. Geelong to beat Adelaide is my certainty.
Oh, that's a bit ballsy. That.
I rate it.
It's brave.
I respect it actually. So,
That's it. Yeah.
I'm nervous though. Now I'm nervous.
well, you've said it and you can't change. Alright, and my tips are, I'm going to say Carlton over Brisbane, Richmond over West Coast, Geelong over the Crows, Melbourne over the Suns, Dogs over the Giants, Freo over Hawthorn, Port over Essendon, Collingwood over Swans, and Saints over North, and that's my certainty. Saints should win easily over North. Yeah, and then obviously we'll get into the Supercoach just
back into
Well,
the boys,
Well, just before we get into the Supercoach, we've got one more thing about the footy. Obviously, a landmark deal done yesterday with the Tassie team being added as the 19th team. I did forget it off the top because I did have it in there. It's been locked in. I think 2028, I believe, is the start date for the men's team. I think that's what they were saying yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
set to be starting a year before they move into Macquarie Point, playing at Balreeve Oval and UTAS down in Launceston. Boys, I want to get your thoughts. Obviously, Tassie have been bargaining for this for a while. I just want to get your thoughts as to how the process has been done and how they've and what it would be like, I suppose, for Tassie fans to get their own team.
Yeah, I think it would be good. I think it's been a long time coming, and even though it's a small little island, sometimes people forget that it's part of Australia. But it'll be good for them to have a team, and hopefully players will be willing to make the trip down to Tassie and commit to the team once it's formed. Especially some of the younger players in the system right now, once they're at their peak, Tassie might be, well, they'll have the preference to probably pick some pretty decent players. So hopefully, players are willing to make the move and represent Tassie.
No, it's great. It's great for footy. They've been, like we said, they've been advocating it for so long, and there'd be so many people with that announcement that are just go, our work is done. We're finally, and I think
Bevo's pretty happy.
Yeah, the Bev show.
Yeah, Bev show.
Oh, yeah, he went bananas. Yeah, I think he went bananas about it. He's been one of the big advocates. But I heard, last week at Clarko's presser, Clarko talked a lot about it and saying like it would be a competitive advantage for them when they come in. And look, I think it's a really good move, and I think it's exciting for Tasmanian football. Really exciting.
Yeah, it's good for the game. I think making it a truly national competition. Hopefully, the 20th licence, if that happens, goes to Darwin or somewhere in the NT.
I would like Darwin.
Yeah, really make it a national comp.
Bit of talent up there that probably gets overlooked. And if they had their own team up there as well, we're talking years into the future here to get the 20th sort of team in. But I mean, with 19 worlds got to buy, so you don't want to be doing that forever. So it'd be pretty cool if Darwin were the next ones to have a team come in.
Oh, for sure. Couldn't have said it better.
Well said, Connor.
Head into Supercoach.
Yeah, we'll quickly get into it. Round 7 results. So, despite all the trash talk from Blair to Hugo, and no, it's fair to say there was.
It was the other way around.
No, it wasn't.
I was standing up for myself.
No, you weren't. You were getting into Hugo.
Listen back to it.
No. Anyway, Hugo comfortably beat Blair this week, and I comfortably beat Connor. And
not really. It wasn't looking that way for a fair bit.
100-point win. I'll take that.
It's pretty close still. It's one player, really.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you're still 0-7.
Yeah, but I'm getting closer, and
he's looking at positive.
Mate, you're starting to give up.
I've found a bit of newfound hope. I'm
Oh,
getting
really?
closer, and
That's good.
I've just copped some bad fixtures. I could have easily won 3 or 4.
If you were against
Same as Richmond, I guess.
If you were
but
against
whatever.
Blair,
You've got the wrong teams in the wrong weeks.
Yeah.
you would have been in Blair this
I have a
week.
bit
Anyway,
but that gave me a bit of belief, and I thought I was probably home. A couple of boys dropped off late, but
you had some pretty big players too. Kerno with 184.
yeah, that helped.
But yeah, as the ladder stands, nothing's changed. I'm on top. Hugo second, Blair third, and Connor last. And fixtures this round.
I was hoping I had to lie.
No, you got me this week, and
So disrespectful.
and Hugo's got the bye this week, aka Connor. But yeah, now we'll get into a bit of the NBA talk because a lot's been happening in the finals. So Jackson, take it away.
Well, obviously, we'll start off with, we forgot to mention it last week. I don't know if it happened that day, but New York's win over the Cavs. Owen, means you got your preseason prediction correct. I will give it to you even if you said that you would finish the 8th seed and win your first round match in that regard. But I suppose many people didn't see the Knicks really doing that well. I mean, I think they got, I'm trying to pronounce his name, Tom Thibodeau or something as their coach. Is that their coach? Yeah.
I would not know.
And you're the Knicks fan.
Yeah, but I don't have a coach. But he's got a receding
But he's still
hairline.
well.
He's got a receding hairline. That's all I know.
But yeah, no. So he was obviously back and managed to do well this season. And now they're locked in a series with Miami. But we'll get on to that later. Firstly, MVP's been announced, and it's Joel Embiid, which a couple of us did predict. I suppose, boys, take it away. Do you reckon that was the right call, or?
Yeah, I think so. I'd tip Joel Embiid to win the MVP. I think he's had a good season. He's been the big man for the 76ers. I thought, Joker had a chance as well, but I think Joel deserves it. I think, good decision.
Yeah, I don't think there was really a bad choice out of the three finalists, but it's good to see Embiid win it. I thought Giannis probably should have won it, but that's really nitpicking. Let's be honest. Like, he's had a pretty good year, Joel Embiid, and he came back today, but not too well. But it's all right.
Yeah, he could have raffled it between sort of 2 or 3 blokes, so I wasn't fussed either way, but I think I picked Joel Embiid. Yeah.
Full credit to Embiid.
And I suppose another thing, I suppose we talk about a fall from grace in such a short amount of time. Thanks to a man that plays at your established club at the LA Lakers. This man Dylan Brooks went for the big fish. Decided to go for LeBron and trash talked him, and safe to say he's just about ended his career. You could see him playing for Taiwan or the Shanghai Sharks next season. Hugo, discuss.
Well, I've heard he signed a deal with Duolingo to learn Chinese. That's what he's playing next year. He's going off to China. That was very satisfying to watch. For people who don't know, before the series, Dylan Brooks plays for Memphis, and they were playing the Lakers in the first round. He sort of poked LeBron, said, "Don't respect anyone unless they give me 40."
Saying he was old.
Yeah, don't respect any old players.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan Brooks never dropped 40 once in his career, but that's all right. LeBron didn't give him 40, but, we beat him by 40 to kick him out of the playoffs and send them home.
And he had a 20 and 20 as well, which is pretty close.
Yeah. Well, 20 plus 20 is 40. That's close enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. Shaq Matthews.
It actually is 40. Yeah.
Mr. Mathematics whiz.
Makes you think.
Hey, I'm good at math now. Yeah.
Cheers. It was very satisfying to see Dylan Brooks not play great. I think he was 20-something%, 30% from the field for the series.
Bang average.
Yeah, it was early on in the series. I know he was 6 for 24 at one point. So he didn't play well at all. And the Grizzlies, who are arguably the most dislikable team in the NBA, amongst NBA circles, have been sent packing in the first round when they finished at the 2 seed. So disappointing year for Memphis.
Well, we'll move on to the second round, and boys, I mean, the second round has started slightly, but I just want to get your predictions as to who you think will advance to the conference finals out of these matchups. Actually, we'll start off with you, Blair, if you're ready for it. Just go through those one by one, normal footy tip style, and give me your predictions.
Yeah, Denver, easy dubs. Golden State, they'll come back. As much to Hugo's discussed, I think 3 points in the first game. We had like a 15-0 run or something at one point. Steph, he'll get the boys up. 1-0 down means shit. New York versus the Knicks versus Miami. It's one apiece at the moment. Knicks get it done. We don't know who the coach is, but we will know after this series. And then Philly get it done against Boston. Sorry, Mansell.
I know your knowledge of basketball, so I know you don't mean that in the slightest.
Mansell, some of your tips in that last first round series, of the playoffs were pretty bang average.
Anyway, here you go. Bring some light to this conversation.
That was a load of waffle. Sorry, Blair. I'll say Denver win. I'll say the Lakers beat Golden State. Just touch on the first win doesn't mean anything. Was it 9-36 on the road, the Warriors? And you've lost your first game at home.
We'll talk about this in a couple of weeks' time.
Your home court advantage is gone now. That's a silly comment. Miami beat New York.
Well, before you keep going, speaking of silly comments, there was a article that Mansell actually wrote about about the predictions, and he had some words to say about LeBron James and he's performing in the.
I'll quote him.
Okay.
LeBron will be clamped up. LeBron James has played in the NBA for 20 years. I don't think he's ever been clamped up once. What?
Oh, maybe.
I don't think he has.
Oh.
He's poking the bear. You're like Dylan Brooks, mate.
Is that what you did during COVID? Did you go so once you ran out of the Saints games to watch, you watched the Lakers, well, all the LeBron games to see if he got clamped up in any of them?
No, it's just common knowledge. Just hasn't made
He watched the old Saints games actually.
Yeah, I was watching the Saints games and a bit of the playoffs. But no, I think Miami beat New York and then Philly beat Boston.
Hugo's like the Mulgrave boys quoting articles here.
Yeah. But I will quote what Hugo just said. Well-written article. You said that.
It was a very well-written article. Just,
Apart from the
just the content was crap.
structure was good.
He loves his work.
Connor, your tips, mate? For
Oh,
the,
someone just like unripped there. Little high pitched horn.
Probably
No.
you, mate.
It wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
your
me.
tips, Connor. Bring us.
Denver will win, but Phoenix, they'll fight back. They will a bit, they have to.
But Denver win.
But Denver win. Probably 6 or 7. Golden State will win. They'll win. You can't beat finals experience, and they've certainly got plenty of that. I'm going to go the Knicks. They're riding a high. Let's hope they can keep it going. I'll back them in. And for some reason, I feel, even though Philly lost terribly today against Boston, I feel like they've got enough in them to knock off Boston. And Boston obviously choke early in playoffs, so they'll do it again. And it's it's in their history.
Your body did a premature fart because that was just such shitty comments right there.
Mate, what happened? Mate, what happened with Boston last year? We don't need to go there, but I think that you know what happened, champ. So, mate, Embiid's he's gonna show his true star power. He's the MVP, mate, and I think he'll dominate Al Horford. He'll dominate the bloke and put him in a nursing home. He's that old, so that's me.
Rightio.
Anyway,
Yeah, I reckon, Denver win, but again, I think Phoenix will put up a challenge. I think Golden State will beat Lakers. New York to beat Miami, but I reckon that's going to be a really good season. Series, considering Jimmy Butler's back and I guess back for revenge. And, I think Philly over Boston as well. Jackson, your predictions plus your certainty.
Here we go. Yeah,
I'll start off with the certainty.
Boston.
No. Oh well, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I did say to the boys about 10 o'clock last night that Boston would beat Philly in game 2, so that is one certainty. Then my second one is, I don't know why I'm going for this team again, even though when they did let me down last week.
Let's go on the Warriors.
I can't see the Golden State Warriors losing 2 games at home. I'm going to go Golden State to beat the Lakers in game 2.
I now hope we lose.
Oh my god! Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, in terms of my second round predictions, I did say the Suns would win in 7 on Scribe Sports. I'm just looking at it now. I still think
You keep doubting the Denver Nuggets, man.
No, but I
Stop
still
trashing them, mate. Just because they're nuggets, like it's got a bit of substance to it. Come on,
Well, they're Golden Nuggets at the moment.
Nikola Jokic to do everything.
He's so rattled
Okay.
here.
So Denver did win their first 2 games at home, but then again, the Phoenix Suns have got 2 games at home, and they've got Booker, they've got Durant.
No Chris Paul.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's my only reason that I'm thinking that Denver could get it done over the Suns. I reckon Denver could get it done I reckon they could get it done in 6. Like,
Mate, you're worse than Pauline Hanson with your flipping and your flopping, mate. I said yes, and I went no, and I went back to yes,
No.
and I was stuck with it, all right?
You look like Pauline Hanson.
Come on. I'll give it to him. It's not bad, but you're an absolute fucking dog. Mate, who are you going for? We're none the wiser who are you going for, mate. You shit on Denver and then you say they're going to win. You're
Denver
an
in
absolute
6.
spud.
Denver in 6. Golden State to beat the Lakers in 6. I agree. I think they're turning the corner at the moment. The finals experience, like, you can't go wrong there. Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Miami to beat New York in 5. Reason being Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is just an absolute animal. In terms of what he can do. If he comes back, he's got this series wrapped up. And I'm going to go Boston over Philly in 6. We did have a hiccup at home, but that being said, I reckon we're going to at least take one off Philly on the road as well. We have beaten them 3 out of the 4 times this season, like regular season. And I reckon Boston get it done.
Are you concerned by Embiid's stats against Boston this year? Averages 45 against them at home.
No.
That's a good stat.
No, I'm not at all, because Robert Williams probably didn't play a couple of those games, and now that he's back, he can at least match him so that he doesn't score 45.
An average of 45 means if Robbie Williams locked him up one game, kept him to 30, the next game he would have dropped 50.
Well, the thing is that Robbie Williams, as you call him, didn't play for much of the season, so he might have played maybe a couple of games or something. But yeah, I reckon that tag team on him and that should
Say it. Embiid's going to get clamped up. Say it.
If you're talking about the 45 at home, he will get clamped up to the point that it won't be an average of 45 at home. But yeah, I'm not saying he'll get clamped up fully. It'll be enough for Boston to get over the line.
Okay, there you go.
Boston, they can't win a championship with old man Horford playing. 24 minutes. This is a domination. They won by nearly 40 points. 24 minutes, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 points. He did nothing well, really.
Do we need to go into the Brooklyn Nets?
Why is he so old, mate? Nick Claxton would break his back.
Yeah.
Why is he?
That's shocking, mate.
Don't even worry about Robbie Williams, mate, because Al Horford's his starting centre and he's going to get fucked up.
Oh, come on, guys. It's getting a bit graphic here. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, Owen, you just end the podcast.
Oh, my God.
Connor and I think we need to have a bit of fisticuffs outside. So
Mansell's made some enemies. J-Mac,
Having more than
Connor.
fisticuff, mate. I'm getting a shotgun.
Oh my
nonsense.
God. This has been a crazy episode from the start to the end. But it's been a ripper. Boys, thanks for joining me once again. Thank you to all the listeners and viewers out there. Make sure to check us out on the socials. Keep on top of